Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for joining us today. Today we will be speaking about Hubble just confirms largest comet nucleus ever seen. Please watch the entire video to figure out all the details. And guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and click the bell notification. Alright then, let's get started. A distant mark of light caught by NASA's Hubble Space Telescope has been affirmed as the largest comet at any point recognized. Stretching 80 miles wide, the comet known as C/2014 UN-271 or Bernardinelli-Bernstein is bigger than the state of Rhode Island, reports Chelsea Gohd for Space.com. Hubble decided the size of the largest frigid comet nucleus at any point found. Also, it's huge. With a measurement of roughly 80 miles across, it's around 50 times bigger than average comets. Its 500 trillion ton mass is 100,000 times more noteworthy than the typical comet. NASA's Hubble Space Telescope has decided the size of the largest frigid comet nucleus at any point seen by astronomers. The observations observe that the comet is 50 times bigger than the typical comet center and will pass by the Sun in the following 10 years. Details on the comet's discovery were published in the Astrophysical Journal Letters. The colossal comet might be dashing our direction from the Oort cloud at a speedy 22,000 miles each hour per Space.com. It is normal to make its closest methodology in 2031 at 1 billion miles from the Sun. This comet is in a real sense a glimpse of something larger for a huge number of comets that are too weak to even think about seeing in the more distant parts of the solar system, says author David Jewitt, an astronomer at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. We've always suspected this comet must be enormous because it is so splendid at such a huge distance. Presently, we affirm it is. A statement explains that astronomers Pedro Bernardinelli and Gary Bernstein discovered the comet in chronicled images from the Dark Energy Survey at the Toledo Inter-American Observatory in Chile. Comet Bernardinelli-Bernstein was formally observed in 2010 on accident when it was 3 billion miles from the Sun and has since been studied by group and space telescopes. The estimated measurement is around 80 miles across, making it bigger than the state of Rhode Island. The nucleus is around 50 times bigger than found at the core of most known comets. Its mass is estimated to be a staggering 500 trillion tons, 100,000 times more noteworthy than the mass of an average comet, so as a lot closer to the Sun. The behemoth comet C/2014 UN-271 Bernardinelli-Bernstein is barreling at 22,000 miles each hour from the solar system's edge. Yet, no real reason to stress. It won't ever move closer than 1 billion miles away from the Sun, which is slightly farther than the distance of the planet Saturn. What's more, that will not be until the year 2031. The previous record holder is comet C/2002 VQ-94 with a nucleus estimated to be 60 miles across. It was discovered in 2002 by the Lincoln Near-Earth Asteroid Research Linear Project. Comet C/2014 UN-271 was discovered by astronomers Pedro Bernardinelli and Gary Bernstein in recorded images from the Dark Energy Survey at the Cerro Toledo Inter-American Observatory in Chile. It was first serendipitously observed in November 2010 when it was a great 3 billion miles from the Sun, which is almost the normal distance to Neptune. Since then, at that point, it has been intensively studied by ground and space-based telescopes. This is an astounding article considering how dynamic it is at the point when it's still so distant from the Sun, said the paper's lead writer Man Tu Hui of the Macau University of Science and Technology, Taipa, Macau. We guess the comet may be quite enormous, however, we wanted the best information to affirm this. So, his group used Hubble to take 5 photos of the comet on January 8, 2022. The test in measuring this comet was how to discriminate the solid nucleus from the colossal dusty unconsciousness encompassing it. The comet is excessively far away from its nucleus to be visually resolved by Hubble. Instead, The Hubble information shows a splendid light spike at the nucleus area. Hui and his group next made a PC model of the surrounding unconsciousness and adjusted it to fit the Hubble images. Then, the shine of the trance-like state was subtracted to abandon the star-like nucleus. Hui and his group contrasted the brightness of the nucleus with prior radio observations from the Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array or ALMA in Chile. This joint information constrains the width and the reflectivity of the nucleus. Researchers made a PC model of the comet's unconsciousness and adjusted it to accommodate Hubble's images. With the model, the group eliminated the foggy gleam of the unconsciousness to abandon the bright nucleus. To further affirm the comet's size, the group also contrasted the splendid nucleus with radio observations from the Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array, ALMA, in Chile, per the USA Today. Researchers are involved in the Bernardinelli-Bernstein comet because of its starting point from the Oort cloud. Comets from this locale space are remembered to have shaped in the inward solar system before being tossed to the edge by gravitational forces welcomed on by the development of massive planets like Jupiter and Saturn, per statement. According to USA Today, astronomers trust C/2014 UN-271 will uncover more details about what comets in the Oort cloud are like. The latest Hubble measurements are close to the prior size estimates from ALMA. However, convincingly suggest a more obscure nucleus surface than previously suspected. It's huge, darker than coal, said Jewitt. The comet has fallen toward the Sun for over 1 million years. It is coming in from the hypothesized nesting ground of trillions of comets, called the Oort cloud. The diffuse cloud is remembered to have an inward edge at 2,000 to 5,000 times the distance between the Sun and the Earth. Its external edge could stretch out at minimum a fourth of the exit plan to the distance of the nearest stars to our Sun, the Alpha Centauri system. The Oort cloud's comets didn't frame so distant from the Sun. Instead, they were tossed out of the solar system billions of years prior by a gravitational pinball game among the massive external planets when the orbits of Jupiter and Saturn were still developing. The remote possibly traveled back toward the Sun and planets, assuming that their distant orbits are disturbed by the gravitational pull of passing star-like shaking apples out of a tree. Comet Bernardinelli-Bernstein follows a 3 million extended curved circle, accepting it as distant from the Sun as generally a large portion of a light year. The comet is currently less than 2 billion miles from the Sun, falling almost opposite the plane of our solar system. At that distance, temperatures are just about minus 348 degrees Fahrenheit. However, this is warm enough for carbon monoxide to sublimate off the surface to deliver the dusty unconsciousness. Comet Bernardinelli-Bernstein provides a priceless hint to the size distribution of comets in the Oort cloud and its all-out mass. Estimates for the Oort cloud's mass differ broadly, as high as 20 times Earth's mass. First theorized in 1950 by Dutch astronomer Jan Oort, the Oort cloud remains a hypothesis because the massive comets that make it up are excessively weak and distant to be straightforwardly observed. It means the solar system's largest structure is everything except invisible. It's estimated that NASA's sets of Voyager spacecraft won't arrive at the internal domain of the Oort cloud for an additional 300 years and could require as long as 30,000 years to pass through it. Circumstantial proof comes from infalling comets that can be followed back to this nesting ground. They approached the Sun from various directions, meaning the cloud must be spherical. These comets are profound free samples of the early solar system's composition, preserved for billions of years. The truth of the Oort cloud is bolstered by hypothetical demonstration of the development and advancement of the solar system. The more observational proof accumulated through profound sky surveys combined with multi-wavelength observations, the better astronomers will understand the Oort cloud's job in the solar system's development. The Hubble Space Telescope is a venture of global participation among NASA and the European Space Agency. The Space Telescope Science Institute (STSCI) oversees Hubble science operations in Maryland. STSCI is worked for NASA by the Association of Universities for Research in Astronomy in Washington, D.C. Most of the comet cores observed are smaller than Halley's Comet. They are ordinarily a mile across or less. Comet C/2014 UN-271 is, at present, the record holder for huge comets. What's more, it very well might be just a hint of something larger. There could be many more monsters out there for astronomers to distinguish as sky surveys work on sensitivity. However, astronomers realize this comet must be large to be recognized so far out to a north distance of 2 billion miles from Earth. Just the Hubble Space Telescope has the sharpness and sensitivity to make an authoritative estimate of nucleus size. Well, that's all we have today. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.